Good morning, friends. What a joy to look out on this incredible team, but I have to say, all that's in my mind as we're thinking about today and really sending a message is that to all of the families in Connecticut, to all of the early child care providers in Connecticut and educators, to all the businesses in Connecticut, we heard you and we delivered. Now, as Commissioner Bai shared and the good Senate President, this is years in the making, and I think when you look at the outcome, it shows that we are looking at everyone who needs care, everyone who needs the support, everyone who needs the investment to make our child care system work. And that's why when I think we look at what between Senate Bill 1, House Bill 5003, and the bond bill we really delivered is that we are delivering relief to families. As you heard, this is about making sure that families that receive care for their kids in state-funded programs, if they make $100,000 or less, their costs are zero. If they make over $100,000, their costs will not exceed 7% of their income. That is true relief to the families of Connecticut. And secondly, if you look at what was so eloquently shared, the need to attract and retain our early childhood educators, primarily women of color across our state. These bills not only increase their pay, but also make sure that they have access to a health insurance subsidy so that they can care for themselves and their loved ones. And finally, just like our K-12 schools, we want to make sure that every single child care facility is of high quality. And that's why we are dedicating multi-year funding through the bond bill to make sure that there is money for facilities to upgrade their locations and also to create those new facilities that are so dire needed in our child care deserts. Now, this was years in the making, as you heard, but I would say as a legislator, I only view this as, maybe the biggest step we took, but it's going to require our continued vigilance. And I want to make sure you have my commitment and the commitment of so many of us in the legislature that will not stop, with this bill, with this marker in establishing this endowment. And I think when we speak to how Connecticut is truly a national model, I just have a key example. I actually heard while I was on the House floor bringing out this bill on a Saturday, I heard from a legislative colleague in Wisconsin who was actually following the news of this work we were doing. And he said so clearly that he was talking to his fellow legislative colleagues who were quite jealous, right, of what we had achieved in Connecticut. And when I said to him, well, clearly happy to work with you, happy to make sure that this is something you all can take on, he said, no, we are just all considering moving to Connecticut. Not only is this pivotal for our families, our businesses, our providers that are here, but just like when we took this tremendous step in our state to pass paid family medical leave, this step of establishing this endowment and truly committing the investment in early childhood doesn't just support our families here, but truly makes Connecticut attractive to so many across this country who see that we are a shining light of supporting families. families and children. So thank you to everyone here, but a special thanks to our Speaker Ritter for his leadership and support, to my colleague, as you'll hear from, Rep. Paris with the Children's Committee, Rep. Leeper with the Education Committee, my colleagues who worked closely on this bill, Rep. Chafee, Rep. McGee, and we are not done. And I want to make sure more than anything that this is the first step in that true investment that our children and families and businesses deserve. Thank you so much.